Greetings and a very good morning to Honorable Lecturer Sir Tony and to fellow Cosmet. Today, our group will be presenting with title Measuring Job Performance and Satisfaction in Royal Malaysia Police, or in short, DRMP. As listed here are the team members of this group, starting with me, myself, Divine, Elia, Muhammad Syafiz, Hafiz, and Sabareyana. With that, we proceed to the next slide. This is the content of our presentation, starting with introduction of the issue, then background, new public management implementation in RMP, followed by symptom of issue, factor, implication, then solution and recommendation. So without further ado, we proceed to our first presenter.
Thank you, Divine. And now let's hear from me about the introduction. Typically, public sector organizations are the largest employers in many countries. Public sector employment can be characterized as being labor intensive, as the performance of public sector workers is critical to delivery of services. In the globalization changing widely, the public sector always tries to provide quality service and high performance organizations based on the expectations and needs of their stakeholders, including the communities, public, and customers. In this session, the agency chosen is Royal Malaysia Police (RMP) as the discussion sample in measuring job satisfaction and performance in the public sector. The scope of discussion will focus on three significant symptoms that occurred in creating high quality job satisfaction and performance in RMP, including the lack of support from colleagues in the workplace, the supervision system, and the assigned task division. The introduction is done. Let us slide over to the background of the RMP. This part will consist a little bit of history check, so I hope you will bear with me. Okay. So, the Royal Police Malaysia, aka RMP, is a centralized organization with responsibilities ranging from traffic control to intelligence gathering. The main function of Royal Malaysian Police are as stated in Section 3, Subsection 3, Police Act 1967, as the force shall subject to this act be employed in and throughout Malaysia are include the maintenance of law and order, preservation of the peace and security of Malaysia, prevention and detection of crime, apprehension and prosecutions of offenders, and the collection of security intelligence. The RMP took its current name upon the formation of Malaysia in 1963. It is a federal institution led by the Inspector General of Police (IGP). Over the years, there has been public dissatisfaction over the performance of RMP. In response, the government under the former Prime Minister Abdullah Badawi announced the formation of Royal Commission to investigate and review the operation and management of the RMP. In 2005, the Royal Commission released a report that is the Report of Royal Commission to enhance the operation and management of the Royal Malaysia Police (RCR), detailing the problems of the force and recommended 125 recommendations to the government to improve the force. Now we are going to dive into the implementation of NPM in RMP. As you know, from the 1980s to the present, public sectors have been experiencing significant reform with both rhetoric and reality focused on change in performance reporting regimes. The public sector institutions worldwide have been subjected to be a more drastic change due to both internal and external environmental factors such as economics, politics, and social pressures. Central to this issue of public sector change is the demand for a more efficient, effective, and transparent management approach. In 2004, program's New Public Management, the NPM, was introduced as a benchmark and critical indicator in high performance of all public sectors, including the RMP. As we know, the RMP took its formation in Malaysia since 1807. The RMP is mainly responsible for law enforcement, order maintenance, and services, as I mentioned earlier in the background. And in particular, NPM implementation in RMP shapes the organization's protocols and policy, as it is also responsible for ensuring crime reduced as one of the priority of the RMP. In the Government Transformation Program (GTP), the RMP is responsible for decreasing the crime index by 5% per year until 2020. This one is according to the Plan Strategic PDRM 2015. Recently, the public has been dissatisfied with service delivery, performance, and caught the weaknesses in RMP. As a result, poor operational management declined confidence among the public on RMP as the agency who is responsible for upholding the law in the country. So that's all from me in regards of the implementation of NPM in RMP. All right, let us continue to the next part with my teammate Divine. Thank you.
So now we move on to the symptoms of the issue. The symptoms here refer to the issue that experienced individually before it become a problem to the whole organization. So as identified, there are three symptoms lead to the issue. The first one is the co-worker or colleague. So according to Jacobs, he defines that a co-worker is a work partner in the same organization or department. So with the presence of coworker, they're able to share knowledge, skills, or expertise in the same organization. So as you can see, basically, with the presence of a good coworker, it will help basically this police to be more productive, more motivated to be at work and to do the tasks daily and to handle problems together. However, if there is no good surroundings, no absence of good coworker, then it will basically affect the performance of a person individually in the police department. So, according to newspaper article on the Star, it highlighted where the issue of a police officer from Melaka had pressed charge against his colleague for having an affair with his wife. So the unethical behavior performed by this colleague, close friends in office, lead to a problem lead to a problem in the works, in the performance in work, because before this they were close friends, but now due to this unethical behavior performed by his colleague, they will no longer be friends. So basically, it will affect their daily tasks, their performance in the work. So now we move on to the supervision. According to Halpern and McKim, supervision refers as overseeing and monitoring the performance of these subordinates. So this is important. Supervision is important because it serves as purpose of developing skills, disciplines, and integrity, knowledge, and ability on task. So in the police department, the responsible authorities to monitor the performance of police officer is the sergeant or the upper position. So basically, when a police officer is conducting their task, is doing the task, uh, when they are performing well, of course they will be reward. They will be given like compliments. They will be given uh, additional in their salary. But what if they are in perform the task in bad ways, like they are taking advantage of the power by giving bad services to the public? Of course, they will be given punishment. So, supervision is important to evaluate uh, the performance, the conduct of a police, so that they will always perform a better services. So, supervision is important. So, this can be illustrated in the newspaper published on Malay Mail, where 9 police personnel caught for drug trafficking at Kota Tinggi local prison. So, in this case, the 9 police, where it was investigated that these 9 police are in position of corporals and constables, were caught up for the bad attitude of uh, bringing drug into the prison. So the their supervisor managed to caught them, and they were given punishment, which most likely to be terminated due to their disciplines. So as you can see, supervision is important because it helps to eliminate this bad behavior, no disciplines, absence of integrity among the police officer, which will then affect the performance of the whole organization. So the last one is the work or task division. So according to Stiger, he defined that the work or task given to is the task or work given to the employed person, and through this employee expect a good learning experience at the same time makes them feel as part of the organization. So as you can see, when we are working, we must know what our tasks been given so that we're able to perform well. However, if there is an unclear task given to us, of course we will unable to perform. So in relation to this police officer, the Royal Malaysian Police, there was an issue where there there was an issue of unclear task division which led them to giving false information to the public. This can be illustrated in the Malay Mail bylaw as well, where over 100,000 police officers unable to perform their duties properly due to uncertainty of the enforcement in relation with the new standard operating procedure. So this case most likely happened during the MCO because the policies, the rules keep on changing in because it need to align with the COVID-19 virus procedure. So due to this changing of rules, changing of tasks, uh, there is a problem where police officer misunderstood with their task given and hence giving false information to public. For example, there was an issue where a police officer giving fines to a public and it was false information. So among these three symptoms, it really give effect to this performance of performance among the police. So with that, uh, it is important to have a good coworker, good supervision, and clear task division to prevent performance among the Royal Malaysian Police to be affected negatively. So with that, we proceed to the next presenter.
Several factors that contribute towards the occurrence of this issue, which one of it is unethical behavior. From Free Malaysian to the article, where police chief was tested positive of marijuana and involved in wild party that was held in police station with his subordinate, we can conclude that the behavior from superior will influence the subordinate behavior. Not only that, it also affected other employees and organization reputation. Second factor, which is the lack of accountability among police officers, which can be explained in Asyraaf News on 2021, where there are abuse of power occurs among police officers towards the prisoner who's still in custody until causing their death. This problem shows that supervision from superior is lacked, as they did not realize they were prisoners being abused until causing their death. Moving on to the last factor, which is excessive workload. This matter will lead to stress among police officers, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, where their leave during Idul Fitri was freezed to protect the country and overcome the transmission of COVID-19. This will lead to dissatisfaction among police officers, as others might spending their time with family during MCO implemented. Yet, police has to work more to save people.
Hello everyone. I will proceed with my part to present about the implications of the issue. So basically, there are several implications that may happen as a result of the symptoms that have been discussed by Ms. Divan just now in relation to the problems toward the job satisfaction and performance in the Royal Malaysian Police, which these implications is caused by colleagues' problem in the organization. So, the first implication of the symptoms of colleague problems among the police is it will lead to a decrease in job satisfaction and performance among the Royal Malaysian Police. This is because the close relationships cannot be formed in the absence of good colleagues in the organization, and the impact on their willingness to establish good cooperation among themselves while performing tasks is minimal. And as the result of this, the quality of their work performance will drop. Instead, as a defense wall machinery, they should work together to maintain national peace and show strong cooperation while carrying out tasks and solving problems, because the health studies shows that teams of 3, 4 or 5 people can solve complex problems more effectively than individuals dealing with the same problems alone. So meaning to say that job satisfaction will be reduced if there are no supportive and good colleagues who are able to show cooperation when performing tasks, affecting the work performance and making it difficult to achieve organizational goals, because basically the success of any organization, including PDRM itself, is dependent on how its members communicate and handle tasks together. With this in mind, it is clear that having good colleagues is the most important part of any organization's teamwork implementation, and it can share information, provide motivation, and help in making better decisions. So, the second implication is basically caused by the weakness from the standpoint of superior officer supervision to have a good supervision towards lower rank officers. In a press conference with Sina Harian, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Seri Panglima Abdul Hamid Bado, who is a former Malaysian police officer, he stated that this supervision weakness has caused many of the officers to go astray, to commit various offenses, and among the top officers, there are also those who are careless, who do not perform their responsibilities as supervisors. And as a result of this, the effectiveness and efficiency demonstrated by RMP officers and staff is reduced, and many are involved in disciplinary misconduct, such as committing rudeness while performing duties and showing weakness in terms of service, as well as falling into a realm of criminals. So indirectly, this will have a negative implication on one's work performance and will indirectly reflect poorly on the RMP organization. Instead, as a police officer, they must maintain a positive attitude and set a good example while carrying out their duties. Alright, we're moving on to the last implication that caused by the third symptom, which is the issue of PDRM members' division of duties. So, because of the heavy workload, PDRM or RMP employees have been experiencing extreme stress, and this will increase mental health problems and decrease work motivation among themselves. So, according to research conducted by the Central Department of Public Health Medicine, University Kebangsaan Malaysia or PPUKM, police officers are at the top of the list in terms of experiencing work stress when compared to other civil servants, with a stress rate is 53.7% compared to other professions such as prison officers, firefighters, nurses, and doctors. So, maybe some of you wonder why the job like a police officer will experience extreme stress, right? So, basically, it is because of the heavy responsibilities in terms of case investigation, special duties, commercial crimes, special operation, and narcotic crimes. So, with this kind of stress out among police officers, it can develop chronic mental illness, which can lead to a variety of undesirable outcomes, including the murder or suicide, as well as abuse of power that endangers the lives of others. So that's all from me. I will pass to Mr. Hafiz to present about the solution and recommendation.
Okay, this slide is more focusing on solution of the issues. Basically, there are several solutions of the issue regarding to this slide, which is firstly, Government effort for bonus to Royal Malaysia Police. This solution able to help personnel to get assistance for all the contribution of the work that have been made and give more encouragement to serve the country, which it can improve the performance of the police personnel to achieve job satisfaction without any problem. To support this agreement, Public Service Department was mentioned that the government provide a bonus as much as RM 700 or for civil servant grade 56 and below to the presentation of the 2022 budget to civil servants. Secondly, the solution we use in this study is use the proceed of the summon to improve the Royal Malaysian Police facility level. This solution can improve the facility of the Royal Malaysian Police premise by using the proceed of the summon as a way to make improvement and for the welfare for the police personnel who are always committed and strong to be a part of the national frontline member. And then to support this agreement, a total of RM 109 million in summon payment were allocated nationwide following a deduction of 80% of which is an initiative of Royal Malaysian Police. So this is a good solution by the government to make sure the police personnel can achieve their performance and achieve their work motivation. And then the last point for the solution of the issue is emergency training is provided by the government. The existence to control emergency situation in the workplace is very important in case the workplace area occurs any unwanted problem, which it be able to deal with due to the early exposure to the emergency training. So, training in handling emergency cases is provided by Royal Malaysian Police, where it includes crime prevention assistance such as arrest of civilians, the right of self defense, the right of the self defense, reports and police network that can be connected. So this is the solution for the issues. The issues in this study is more focusing on workplace training and salary. Okay, this slide is more focusing on recommendation of the issues. There are several recommendations, which is firstly, improve salary rates and aid scheme. The Ministry of Home Affairs is considering adding the housing scheme for the police personnel to address the issue of high rental rates, especially in urban areas for low-ranking police officials who do not reside the police quarters. This is the good recommendation to make sure the uh, police personnel can achieve their target in terms of their how work with truly. And then in accordance with the service circular number 2 of 2016 under the rationalization of the Royal Malaysian Police Service scheme for the Malaysian remuneration system SSM, the salary structure of the Royal Malaysian Police personnel was improved in terms of the minimum salary rates. And then the second recommendation is safe environment at workplace by doing a program. A good environment will arise in the workplace if there are an activity that requires a large quantity either for work affair or not, such as family day, to strengthen good relation with other police personnel and create team building in the workplace to facilitate the sharing or idea and work as well as can strengthen the bonding of fellow police personnel in the workplace. To support this argument, to make sure the safe environment at workplace is the best way or is the best suggestion, the Social Security Management Center of Excellence SMB SOCSO or School of Business Management SBM in collaboration with the Royal Malaysian Police RMP has organized a webinar which is the topic is unsafe behavior at work through Webex is the increased knowledge and identify improvement measure practice in the workplace, especially for the safety issues. And then for the last point is more focusing on the point about the provision of the various training to personnel to get the knowledge and facilitate the implementation of the task. Actually, training is very important in the effort to enhance the professionalism of the policing through the continuous training and be able to produce high capable and competent manpower to meet the demands of modern policing line with the National Development Policy and National Transformation 2050. So there are three training for Royal Malaysian Police personnel, which is the first is skill training, developmental skills, and rehabilitation and remedial training. So this is the good recommendation to make sure the personnel, the police personnel in the organization, especially in the Malaysian Police, to achieve their performance, especially the job satisfaction can be arise and can do a work with efficient and effectiveness. In conclusion, based on the overall discussion, the symptom problem of colleague supervision system and task division is the factor influencing the measure of the job satisfaction and performance in the Royal Malaysian Police. An issue of the salary, workplace, and training be a factor to achieve the job satisfaction and performance, whether the factor highlight have a positive effect or not towards the police personnel. By that, after the make a research, the factor of issue give a negative environment, which is the implication may show the colleague and problems among the police will lead to decrease in the job satisfaction and performance among the Royal Malaysian Police. So the main focus on this study or this research in this study, we focus on the job satisfaction and performance among the personnel, police personnel in Royal Malaysian Police to achieve their target in terms of various aspects.